since it is an abundance energy, because it is that Pentacles and it is a knight moving forward, it's telling you that this is a good a good pathway to moving forward in a very healthy way.
Welcome to Cards and Constellations with Bonnie Morris and Don Rumer Rivera from Sonoran Mystic Tarot. Here, we blend astrology and tarot to guide you through the twists and turns for the week ahead. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share. Let's dive into your cosmic journey together.
Hello. The moon this week on Friday, the 1st, August 1st, we have the first quarter in Scorpio at 27 degrees 33 minutes. Now remember, during the first quarter, we do all the work on whatever project you've chosen. And to find that out, we step back and find the new moon in Scorpio. That occurred on November 1st, 2024 at 9 degrees 34 minutes of Scorpio. So check, where do you write your intentions down? I hope you did. That will tell you what you're working on right now. Then we have to move forward and find the full moon in Scorpio. That occurs on May 1st of 2026 at 11 degrees 20 minutes of Scorpio. That's when everything becomes lit up. You can see the whole project, and if it's not exactly what you want, you tweak it. And then we pivot and start to turn away. We have to look for the last quarter moon now in Scorpio. It happens on January 29th, 2027 at 9 degrees 7 minutes of Scorpio. And that's where we celebrate our success and turn away, allow the project to move on by itself, and we wait for another new moon. Now, in the void, of course, we're going to take a look on July 28th. The void, of course, begins at 5:56 p.m., and that is Mountain Standard Time, Phoenix time, at 27 degrees 32 minutes of Virgo. It ends that day at 10:43 p.m., and that's when it enters into the sign of Libra. Then again on the 29th at 8:58 p.m., the void begins at 11 degrees of Libra. It ends on the 31st. Now, remember that. That's a long void, okay? It ends on the 31st at 10:25 a.m., and that's when it enters into Scorpio. I'll pause here and remind you, during a void, you never start a project because it likely will have to be redone. So unless you like practice, be careful. Finish up projects, fold the laundry, do the dishes, whatever it is that you can do, but don't start anything new. Okay, so we still have 5 planets in retrograde. But first, let's go to August 2nd. We have the last void at 6:06 p.m., 27 degrees 33 minutes of Scorpio. It ends that night at 11 p.m. when it enters into Sagittarius. Again, we still have 5 planets in retrograde. Pluto's in Aquarius. Both Saturn and Neptune are still dancing in Aries and Pisces. And Mercury in Leo. Now, we also just started with Chiron in retrograde in the sign of Aries.
So, Miss Bonnie, if I hear right, it sounds like this week, no matter what sign you have, it's going to be a complicated week. Something's happening. Can you help me understand that?
Sure. This week, we start out the week, I think it starts on Tuesday. We see a kite formation. Now, a kite formation is a specific pattern formed by a grand trine, a big triangle, 3 planets. It's harmonious, it's good energy, but there's also an opposition. The point of the head of the kite to the tail, that's a tug of war. That's where things get sticky. The opposition is also linked to the other 2 planets in the grand trine. So it creates this kite shape when you look at the chart. At the end of the week, it gets even more complicated. We have 2 kites, and they're pulling us in 2 different directions.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
There's
and
also...
then you have these long voids. These long voids that
yeah.
growing longer and longer. And you, like you said before, about 2 weeks ago, we had one of the longest voids you'd seen. And this week, once
It's
again,
even
we have an exceptionally long void.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, there are also a lot of squares. Now, squares in a chart means that you have to act on something. If you don't, things are going to get real sticky. So, yeah, it is a real complicated week for everyone.
Oh my gosh. Then I guess we better get into the individual reading and see how this coordinates with the next sign up.
Okay, Cancer, so much is going on with the moon right now. First, you'll notice on this particular chart that it's in a square with Venus. Now, this suggests that you've got some inner confusion on how to meet your emotional needs or express affection. In astrology, a square is a challenging aspect between two planets, and they are 90 degrees apart in the zodiac. This creates tension and conflict as their energies compete for the expression. Squares are considered hard aspects. They're also representing opportunities for growth and development, and they do force you to confront and overcome the obstacles. All right. You may have often longed for love, but may second guess your own feelings or struggle with making romantic choices. You may find yourself in a competitive or unbalanced relationship. With self-love and time for healing, you will learn to clarify what truly brings you emotional fulfillment and how to ask for it. The beginning of the week, the moon is conjunct Mars. This adds fire to emotion, so be cautious. You will feel courageous and passionate and willing to fight for what matters the most. Feeling highly self-directed in the family and emotional matters, you could be fiercely protective of your loved ones. There are times where you may come across a forceful or as headstrong at home. But your assertiveness can be a strength and it can be channeled constructively. On the 29th, you're going to notice that I have highlighted out a grand trine or a triangle. Now, this is part of a kite. You notice the kite formation. In astrology, a kite is a specific aspect pattern formed by the grand trine, which is three planets harmoniously. That's good energy and it's supportive energy. And there's an opposition. So you have to deal with some tension. The opposition is connecting the head of the kite to the tail. This opposition is further linked to two other planets in the grand trine via sextiles, the sides of the head of the kite. And it creates that kite shape that you can see. Let's see. So your feelings between the moon and Saturn, your responsibility. You may find yourself feeling like you want to go outside and play, but you've got responsibilities to do and you got to go do the dishes. You've got to find out the compromise. Part of the kite is also a T cross, which I've highlighted on the 31st. Just make a mental note. We'll go into this in more detail next week. At the end of the week, on the 3rd, you see that the kite we've been talking about at the beginning of the week, but you also see another kite, and it's almost perpendicular. It's pointing and leading the direction to Pluto. So now we have two places we're being directed. The tail of this kite is Mercury in Leo. So your thoughts, ideas, and communication are playing tug of war with the planet of change, transformation. You must find the compromise again. If you look at that kite, you see the grand trine and the T-cross. These are rare to see two kites together. You'll notice there is a third opposition there between the moon and Sagittarius and Uranus and Gemini. Therefore, your feelings are playing that tug of war with unexpected surprises again. You must find the compromise to move forward. Dawn, what do you have in tarot?
Well, Miss Bonnie, you may have been talking a lot of compromise over there, but I could not get beyond the head connected to the tail because often I've been accused sometimes of having that same problem from time to time. So, having my head up my tail. Anyway, with that said, let's get to it. Let's see what tarot has to say about all this. Oh man, the cards are flying out. So they must have liked what I just said, or I must have confused them. I don't know what it was. First card out, I'm loving it. Look at this energy. It's a happy energy. Your energy for the week is a very positive energy. That's an energy of good news. That's an embracing energy. That's an energy of you wanting to enjoy life, you wanting to live the fullest experience. And more importantly, as things come along this week, as you have to face those compromises, you're ready to do it. You feel empowered and you're feeling good. So let's take that positive energy and make sure we put it to use. And with that, following up with that is a judgment card. That judgment card says what you put out, you get back. So again, it's putting out that positive energy. If you put positive energy out this week, do not be surprised that even with some of the heavy stuff going on, and again, dealing with compromise and understanding it, you may even find that, hey, as you navigate the compromise, again, between feelings and obligations, don't be surprised that maybe you're saying, you know what, I didn't know if I could do that. And so maybe part of this is the feeling like you're accomplishing something. You're dealing with maybe a part of you that you weren't sure that you could actually do that. And now you're saying, you know what, I am able to do. Well, I'm good. I'm glad. And again, I love this too, because look at this. There's a Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is saying that, again, a lot of activity, a lot of moving forward, but it's a lot of abundance. And so what that's telling you, since it is an abundance energy, because it is that Pentacles and it is a Knight moving forward, it's telling you that this is a good pathway to moving forward in a very healthy way. Because again, you're taking on this education or this experience and saying, you know what, I can navigate this. I can do this. I've got this. And so I like how it plays out. On the bottom of the deck, which is your overall energy of your environment of the week, is a beautiful Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is like, hey, we got all day. It's all good. There's no need to feel like you got to get it the first time. We'll get there eventually. But again, remember, this is the abundance card as well. It's the Queen. So she's like, hey, we're going to get you there. And that Knight's going to try to get you there because, again, as you navigate the change, when you put it out there, it'll come back to you. And I love this too, because I usually don't draw a second card on the bottom, but I will this time because it really screams at me. And it's a Two of Cups, which tells you alignment. This aligns with you. This is what you're supposed to do. And that card could have another purpose, okay? And we're talking relationships, and we're talking about that situation too. So to make sure that you understand this, to make your relationships work, to improve your relationships, this thinking, this way of understanding can work very well to help your relationship grow and flourish, because maybe your partners have partners, plural. I don't know. I'm not going there. Not my business. But the point is, whoever you're partnering with may like the fact that you're being open to change, that you see some of the limitations you may have, and that you're ready to embrace a way forward that maybe works and maybe helps the relationship. So if you've had some issues in your relationship, if you had some little trying times over the last period of time, this is an indication of, hey, this change will help you in that regard. And when you have that abundance, it's telling you that the household will be happy. Everybody will be happy. The happy card's out there. It's the Three of Cups. But then that Two of Cups is like, and then maybe it makes a little closer connection, little smoochy, who knows? One last card. You have a choice. The question is, what you going to do? Are you going to take the opportunity, and you're going to make the improvements and fix or work on yourself to show everybody else and yourself that you can do this? Or are you going to stay calcitrant and in your feelings and alone? I'm going to leave it up to you. Miss Bonnie, what say you in reference to the connection between astrology and tarot?
Well, it fits because, you got that opposition between Saturn and the moon, responsibility, feelings. Now, Cancer usually sits in their feelings, but I think this week is an opportunity to grow and work it together. You got to be in control. Don't let those triggers be pushed.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you're a friend of mine, you know I love to push those triggers. So you know how that can be dangerous. I'm telling you, I can be mischievous. While I'm being mischievous, I love to push buttons too. And there is one specific button we were asking everybody else to push for us, Miss Bonnie. Which one would that be?
It's down in the right lower corner. It's called subscribe. Please push that button. Now, whatever channel, if you're on my channel, which is Your Love Goddess, hop over to Sonoran Mystic Tarot, Mr. Don's channel, push that button again, set that little notification bell to all. Anytime we post a video or if we go live, that will send you a message and let you know. Now, there's also this new channel we created, Cards and Constellations. Please go there and hit subscribe. We're trying to grow that channel. Eventually, that's the only place you will find these videos. Now, the biggest thing you can do after you've given it a thumbs up, hit those subscribe buttons, is you share this video out, because you never know when somebody else might need to hear this and it could help them. So go ahead and share the video.
Absolutely. And we're out of here. So love, light, and blessings from both Miss Bonnie, her family, me, and my family, to you and to yours. Until next week, we are your astrology and tarot guidance. Just come on back. We got some more news for you next week. Bye-bye.